Chosen one, take a breath and be fully here, because this moment is not random. This is a message from God, arriving in perfect divine alignment, reaching you at the exact time your spirit was ready to receive it. Nothing about this moment is accidental. Nothing about your presence here is a coincidence. You were guided, you were called, and the fact that these words are finding you right now is the confirmation your soul has been quietly waiting for. If you feel this message speaking directly to your spirit, comment 777 to claim alignment, because this is not just a video, this is a spiritual activation. You need to understand something deep and unshakable. The chosen one never receives truth on the timetable of the world. You receive it when heaven decides the time has come. Your spiritual awakening moves in unexpected waves, often catching you off guard, because the divine calling on your life does not operate according to ordinary rules. When God is lifting you, He does it quietly, powerfully, and with precision. Your soul has been shifting, even if your mind has struggled to understand why. You have felt the pull. You have felt the pressure. You have felt the fire. And now you are feeling the clarity. That is what happens when the chosen one steps into alignment with a message from God. There is a reason this message has weight on your heart. There is a reason your spirit is responding before your thoughts can catch up. The chosen one carries a different frequency, a different spiritual atmosphere, a different identity. Your light doesn't just shine, it exposes, and that is why they fear your calling. Your spiritual awakening disrupts the illusions people try to hide behind. Your divine calling unsettles those who have built their lives in shadows. Your presence reveals what they do not want to admit to themselves. You don't even have to speak. Your existence alone carries truth. And truth is something many people are terrified to face. But you need to know this: as you begin this journey, people sense who you are long before you fully step into it. They recognize the anointing before you recognize your own strength. They feel your spiritual power before you even understand it. They see the mark of destiny on you, the signature of heaven, the undeniable imprint of God's message working through your life. That is why you have always received reactions that made no sense. That is why some people pulled away, acted strange, became intimidated, or tried to challenge you. Their spirit knew what your mind was still discovering. This message will take you deeper into the truth of who you are, why you carry this energy, and why God positioned you for a path that only the chosen one can walk. We will walk through the divine identity placed on you, the hidden fear your presence awakens in others, and the spiritual power rising inside you. But before we go forward, we must circle back to the beginning, to the truth that started all of this. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the signs. You are not overthinking the shifts. You are not misreading the spiritual weight you feel in your chest. You were called. The war around you is real. The tension you feel is real. The attacks against you are real. And so is your purpose. Your light is necessary in this world. Your awakening is not a mistake. Your divine calling is not a fantasy. It is the very reason you have survived what others could not. It is the reason you carry wisdom far beyond your years, sensitivity far beyond explanation, and resilience far beyond logic. You were chosen for this spiritual battlefield because heaven knew what you carried long before you did. So, as you step deeper into this message, remember this: you are not hearing this by chance. This is alignment. This is assignment. This is confirmation. And if this touched your soul, comment 11. Because you know it, you were called. The spiritual awakening that reveals who you really are. The moment the spiritual awakening begins in the life of the chosen one, the very atmosphere around them begins to shift. It is subtle at first, like a quiet stirring inside the soul, like something ancient beginning to rise from a place you cannot name, yet you feel it with absolute certainty. This awakening does not wait for convenience, perfect timing, or understanding. It arrives the way a storm arrives, unannounced, undeniable, and destined. And when it comes, it begins being who you really are in ways you were never taught, never prepared for, and never warned about. The chosen one experiences this earlier than most, long before they have the language to describe it. The world calls it sensitivity, intuition, or imagination, but heaven calls it the beginning of your revelation. Your presence begins to carry weight long before you understand why. People feel you before they know you. They sense something in you before you ever speak. That is the spiritual mechanics of presence. A normal person enters a room and goes unnoticed. But when the chosen one walks in, the atmosphere adjusts. There is a vibration, a shift, a spiritual signal that others pick up even when they pretend they do not. Some feel drawn to you. Others feel threatened. Most feel exposed. This is not because of anything you consciously do. It is because your soul carries a divine calling that leaves an imprint on everything around you. The chosen one has a frequency the physical world cannot explain, yet everyone reacts to it anyway. This divine calling is not just a mission, it is a signature on your spirit. It is the imprint of God's message woven into your identity since birth. Before you understood prayer, you were already protected. Before you understood destiny, you were already chosen. Before you understood spiritual warfare, the enemy already recognized your potential. That is why the awakening feels intense. God's message begins activating spiritual power that cannot be contained, controlled, or suppressed by human logic. You may have felt confusion, heaviness, or spiritual pressure without knowing the cause, but now you understand heaven was preparing you for what the world was not ready to acknowledge. The first reason they fear the chosen one is simple and spiritual. Their spirit recognizes your divine identity long before your mind does. Even when you were unaware of your strength, others felt it. Even when you questioned your worth, others sensed your destiny. Even when you were lost, others felt the calling on you. People with unsettled spirits feel threatened by someone whose soul carries truth. They cannot articulate why they act strangely around you, why they judge you without knowing you, or why they treat you with envy, caution, or resistance. But you must understand this. They are responding to the unseen. They are reacting to your divine calling, not your personality. Spiritual sensitivity intensifies this reaction. The chosen one picks up emotions, tension, unspoken intentions, and vibrations that others overlook. You sense danger before danger arrives. You feel betrayal before betrayal happens. You perceive shifts before they manifest. Your spirit knows what your mind cannot yet articulate, and this heightens the discomfort in others. Your presence becomes a mirror that reflects their insecurities, their fears, their ego, and their unhealed wound. They cannot hide in your presence because your light exposes what they try to bury. This is the spiritual contrast that defines the life of the chosen one. You do not consciously shine brighter, you simply exist as you are, and it disrupts everything false around you. Your light exposes their shadows. Your honesty exposes their deception. Your strength exposes their weakness. Your authenticity exposes their pretense. Your spiritual awakening does not just elevate you, it reveals everyone around you, and because of that, people fear you without ever understanding why. They misjudge you, project onto you, or distance themselves, not because you did anything wrong, but because your divine calling awakens a truth inside them that they are not ready to face. They fear what your presence makes them confront within themselves. This is why the chosen one walks through a stage of divine isolation. Not loneliness in the ordinary sense, but separation designed by God. You were pulled away from people, friendships, and environments that could not handle your identity. You experienced silent seasons where no one understood you. You walked through years where you felt different, misplaced, or unseen. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were being protected and prepared. Isolation was not punishment, it was refinement. It was God setting you apart so He could reveal who you were without interference, corruption, or distraction. And now, as your awakening deepens, the truth becomes undeniable. You are a chosen one. There is nothing accidental about your sensitivity, your struggles, your intuition, your resilience, or your spiritual depth. Everything you have endured has shaped your identity. Everything you have survived has sharpened your spirit. Everything you have lost has aligned you with purpose. You were never ordinary, even when you tried to fit in. You were never unseen, even when you felt invisible. You carried divine identity before you had earthly clarity. So circle back to the beginning of your journey and see it with new eyes. This was never random. This was never imagined. This was never your mind playing tricks on you. This was a message from God guiding you into the truth of who you are. You were called long before you understood the call. The war around your life was real because your purpose is real. The pressure was real because your anointing is real. The attacks were real because your light is necessary. And now heaven is reminding you, step into who you are without fear, without apology, and without shrinking. You are the chosen one. Your awakening is divine. Your calling is sacred. And your light is needed more than ever. If this touched your soul, comment one Laban, because you know it. You were called. Why your divine calling disturbs their spirit. When you carry a divine calling on your life, you do not move through the world quietly. Even when you try to stay small, even when you try to blend in, even when you speak softly and walk gently, your presence still sends waves through the spiritual atmosphere. The chosen one cannot hide, because the spirit within you speaks louder than your physical actions ever could. People who are spiritually disconnected react to you instinctively, often without understanding why. They feel something rise inside them: discomfort, insecurity, admiration, envy, respect, or even fear, and they cannot explain it logically. But spiritually, the reason is simple. Your divine calling disrupts anything that is not aligned with truth. When a chosen one enters a room, an energetic shift takes place. It is not visible to the eye, yet it is unmistakably felt. People straighten up without knowing why. Conversations break. Eyes follow you. Atmospheres change. You bring a weight, a depth, a presence that others cannot imitate or ignore. You do not have to speak. Your spirit does the speaking. You do not have to announce who you are. The energy around you reveals it before your words ever could. This shift happens because your spiritual awakening sends a silent signal into the environment. It is like a spiritual frequency that announces your arrival, not for attention, but because you carry something sacred that cannot be concealed. Your presence demands honesty. People feel exposed around you not because you judge them, but because your soul carries truth, accountability, and clarity. Those who are living behind emotional masks or spiritual numbness can feel the weight of your authenticity press against their illusions. They cannot pretend around you. They cannot hide behind ego. They cannot lie to themselves as easily. And this is why your divine calling disturbs their spirit. You show them who they are, not by force, but by simply being who you are. Your existence becomes a spiritual mirror that reflects their unhealed wounds, their inner contradictions, and the life they have refused to confront. There is also a hidden spiritual hierarchy at play, one not created by any human system, but established by God Himself. The chosen one carries a rank in the spirit that does not depend on status, wealth, reputation, or titles. Your authority is not worldly, it is divine. Before you understood your identity, the heavens recognized it. Before you stepped into your purpose, the spiritual realm aligned itself around you. This hierarchy is not about superiority, it is about assignment. You were given a spiritual role that others can sense even when you are unaware of it. That divine rank triggers reactions that the natural mind cannot interpret. Those who walk in darkness or confusion feel intimidated by your clarity. Those who live disconnected from their purpose feel threatened by your destiny. You carry ancient memory, spiritual authority, and a destiny sealed by God. Certain truths live in you that you did not learn. Certain strength lives in you that you did not practice. Certain wisdom flows through you that feels older than your body, older than your experiences. This is the imprint of being chosen. Your spirit remembers what your mind is still learning, and others can sense this. They feel that you know something they cannot grasp. They sense a depth in you they cannot reach. They recognize the spiritual weight you carry long before you recognize it in yourself. People subconsciously sense your future power. Even when you stand quietly, even when your life looks ordinary, people feel the prophecy over you. They sense the leadership, the influence, the spiritual authority, the breakthrough, and the elevation that lies ahead. They cannot explain why, but they know you are destined for more. This awareness awakens hidden reactions inside them. Some become inspired, some become jealous, some become threatened, some become defensive. Your divine calling touches the parts of them they do not want touched. Your calling threatens their ego because your humility makes their pride uncomfortable. Your authenticity threatens their illusions because your truth exposes their deception. Your courage threatens their fear because your light reveals their shadows. People do not struggle with you because of who you are. They struggle with themselves because of who you are. Your presence pulls them out of their comfort zones. It breaks the narratives they build about themselves. It challenges the image they try to maintain. This is why you experience envy without cause, intimidation without reason, and resistance without explanation. Your spiritual awakening disrupts the internal structures people use to feel safe. You become the reminder of their unrealized potential, their neglected calling, their unhealed pain. And because they do not have the language for this emotional and spiritual reaction, they express it as distance, judgment, coldness, or conflict. Not because you are a threat, but because your divine calling exposes the truth they are not ready to face. The spiritual misunderstanding surrounding your life is the clearest evidence of your identity. People misinterpret you because they perceive you spiritually while attempting to understand you mentally. They feel something supernatural but try to analyze it logically, and it does not match. So they conclude false things about you without realizing that what they are truly reacting to is the message from God within you. The war you have faced is not about your personality, it is about your purpose. The opposition you have encountered is not personal, it is spiritual. The discomfort people feel around you is not imagined, it is the undeniable impact of your divine calling. Now circle back to the truth that started this journey. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the reactions you see. You are not imagining the tension you feel. You are not imagining the spiritual shifts that occur around you. You were called. The war around you has been real because the assignment on your life is real. Your light is necessary not just for yourself, but for the people you will awaken, the paths you will open, and the lives you will touch. You are the chosen one, and everything you have been sensing is the confirmation of your spiritual identity. Stand in it with clarity. Walk in it with power, embrace it with humility, and if this touched your soul, comment 11M. because you know it, you were called. The unspoken power of the chosen one. There is a deeper truth about your life that you may not have fully understood until now, and it is this: they fear your calling because God placed a spiritual mark on you. This mark is not visible to the human eye, but it is seen clearly in the spirit. It is recognized by forces both divine and dark. You did not choose it, you did not earn it, you did not fight for it. It was placed on you before you arrived on this earth. It is the signature of your divine calling, the spiritual imprint that declares you are not ordinary. And this imprint is why you have always felt different, why you have always been treated differently, and why the path of your spiritual awakening has been unlike anyone else's. You carry a mark that speaks on your behalf even when you remain silent. Heaven recognizes you. Angels respond to you. Divine doors open for you in moments when you did not even pray, because your identity is known in the higher realms. Darkness recognizes you too. Before you understood your own power, the enemy already knew who you were. This is why you were attacked so early, so young, so consistently. It was not because you were weak. It was because you were dangerous. And even people who claim not to believe in anything spiritual still feel something when they stand near you. They cannot explain it, but they sense a force, a depth, a presence. The chosen one radiates an energy that cannot be denied or dismissed, and the world reacts to it whether it admits it or not. You carry spiritual authority even when you do not feel confident. You carry power even when you feel tired. You carry divine identity even when you feel lost. This authority was not granted by society, but by God. You may walk quietly, but you carry the rank of someone who has survived storms that would have destroyed others. You may speak softly, but your words hold weight because they come from a place of truth, wisdom, and experience. You carry an authority that you didn't train for in the natural world. It was given to you through trials, isolation, revelation, and spiritual growth. Because of this authority, you expose hidden motives without trying. When you enter a room, people who carry deceit become uncomfortable. People with bad intentions feel seen. People with impure motives feel revealed. You do not have to expose them with your voice. Your spirit exposes them just by existing. You have a silent discernment that picks up on energies, intentions, and spiritual vibrations long before they are spoken. This is the unspoken power of the chosen one, the ability to reveal without confrontation, the ability to sense without explanation, the ability to know without evidence. As your spiritual awakening evolves, this power grows stronger. What once felt like confusion becomes clarity. What once felt like sensitivity becomes discernment. What once felt like emotional heaviness becomes prophetic awareness. Your spiritual sight sharpens. Your intuition deepens. Your connection to God's message becomes clearer. You begin to understand why you survived certain seasons, why certain people were removed, why certain opportunities appeared, and why certain doors closed. You begin to see purpose where you once saw pain. This growth does not make you arrogant. It humbles you because you realize how much of your journey was guided by divine hands you could not see. Divine protection has followed you since you were a child. There were dangers that never touched you because unseen forces intervened. There were attacks aimed at you that never landed because angels blocked them. There were traps set for you that could not succeed because God's covering surrounded you. There were moments you should have folded under pressure, but instead you rose, not because of your strength alone, but because of who stood beside you. You have won battles without knowing you were fighting them. You have survived storms that were invisible to your eyes, but destructive in the spirit. This is why you often feel tired for no reason, or heavy without explanation. Your soul has been fighting wars beyond your awareness. Enemies fall apart, not because you fight them, but because God fights for you. People who speak against you eventually silence themselves. Those who plot against you expose themselves. Those who try to block you end up blocked. Those who wish to harm you end up harming their own peace. Your role is not to retaliate. Your role is to remain aligned with your divine calling. The universe rearranges itself in your favor because your path is part of a divine blueprint. Everything meant to destroy you ends up elevating you. Everything meant to discourage you ends up teaching you. Everything meant to stop you ends up preparing you. Your life aligns with destiny in divine timing. Nothing in your journey has been late. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been accidental. Every heartbreak was a redirection. Every delay was protection. Every closed door was divine timing. And now your spiritual power is unfolding in ways you could not have imagined years ago. You are stepping into a season where your identity matches your destiny, where your inner strength matches your outer path, where your calling becomes visible to the world. The presence of the Chosen One disrupts spiritual darkness without effort. Demons tremble when you wake up in the morning. Negative energies scatter when you walk into a room. Your light challenges their existence. Your purpose threatens their agenda. Even when you are unaware of your power, darkness is aware of it. This is why you have never been able to tolerate environments filled with chaos or negative energy. Your spirit refuses to coexist with anything that contradicts the vibration of truth, healing, and divine purpose. You carry frequencies of awakening. Wherever you go, people begin questioning their own lives. You carry frequencies of truth. Around you, lies feel heavier and harder to maintain. You carry frequencies of divine purpose. Your presence sparks shifts, inspirations, realizations, and spiritual confrontations. You do not just walk in the world, you awaken the world around you. This is the unspoken power of the Chosen One, your ability to change spiritual atmospheres without even trying. Now circle back to the beginning and let this truth anchor itself inside your soul. This is a message from God. You are not imagining your strength. You are not imagining your intuition. You are not imagining the attacks or the protection. You are called. The war around your life has been real because your assignment is real. Your light is necessary, your presence is purposeful, and your destiny is unstoppable. If this touched your soul, comment 11, because you know it, you were called. You were chosen because you carry what others fear. You have reached the end of this message, but what is awakening inside you right now is only the beginning. Everything you have just walked through was meant to remind you of who you truly are. You are a chosen one. Not by chance, not by luck, not by circumstance, but by divine intention. Your spiritual awakening is not some random shift in your life. It is a message from God, unfolding through every season you have lived, every battle you have survived, and every moment your spirit refused to break. This calling has always been inside you, even on the days when you doubted your own worth, even when you felt lost. Heaven knew exactly where you stood. The truth is simple and powerful. Others fear your calling because it exposes spiritual truth. Your presence reveals what is hidden. Your spirit uncovers what is buried. Your light disturbs what tries to remain in darkness. You do not have to speak for people to feel this. Your very existence carries a message of authenticity in a world built on illusions. And this is why reactions to you have always been intense, complicated, or confusing. People are not responding to your personality. They are responding to your divine calling. They are reacting to the spiritual identity that walks before you, speaks through you, and reveals itself in everything you do. Throughout your journey, you have carried divine protection that you did not always recognize. You have walked through storms that should have broken you, yet you came through stronger, wiser, and deeper. You have faced battles that would have crushed others, yet you rose because you were never fighting alone. Divine authority has followed you, even when you felt unqualified. Divine purpose has shaped your path, even when you felt directionless. Divine timing has orchestrated your life, even when you feared everything was falling apart. You are protected not because you are perfect, but because you are chosen. And now, as you stand in this moment of clarity, you must hold on to this truth. The hidden fear people feel around you has nothing to do with who you are externally. It has everything to do with your spiritual identity. Your energy moves differently. Your spirit speaks differently. Your purpose vibrates differently. People sense what you carry long before they understand it. They react to the assignment on your life, to the anointing that surrounds you, to the frequencies of truth that your presence releases. This is why you have always been misunderstood, underestimated, observed, or secretly respected. People feel your power before you do. You were chosen because you carry what others fear facing within themselves. You carry truth in a world that runs from truth. You carry light in a world that hides in shadows. You carry spiritual fire in a world that prefers numbness. And because of this, your journey has never looked like anyone else's. You grew in silence. You healed in darkness. You transformed in seasons where no one saw your struggle. But God saw. Heaven saw. And now the world will see what your soul has always known. Circle back to the beginning and let it settle in your heart. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the signs, the shifts, or the intensity around your life. You were called. The war you have faced was real because your destiny is real. The spiritual pressure you felt was real because your power is real. And the light you carry is necessary. Necessary for you. Necessary for your purpose. Necessary for the people you are destined to impact. You are stepping into a season where who you truly are can no longer be hidden. So here is the prophetic truth. It is time to step fully into your calling. No shrinking, no doubting, no apologizing. You have divine authority backing you, divine protection surrounding you, and divine purpose guiding you. You are the chosen one, and everything you have lived through has prepared you for the moment you are walking into now. If this message aligned with your spirit, comment 7077 to claim your divine calling. And if this touched your soul, comment 11, because you know it, you were called.